How about a good Patrice story? Have a great day, Scott K. Yeah, I don't have any Patrice stories. I spent all that time with him, and we didn't have any real moments at all. So I just can't. I don't really have any Patrice stories. I'm really sorry, but thanks for the $4.99, Scott K. I appreciate that. I just wish I had at least one or two Patrice stories. I guess I could talk about, being a pallbearer at his funeral, and we're at the church. Yeah, I'll give you you want a Patrice story? Do you? At the church, before the festivities, I was a pallbearer. Anthony was asked to be a pallbearer, but he couldn't deal with it for whatever reason, so he declined. That's on him, and whatever he would have to explain why he did that, but he did. So the pallbearers were me, Jim Norton, Kevin Hart. It was a lineup that I'm like, this is like star-studded. Bob Kelly, I think Rich Voss. I don't know if he was a pallbearer because I think he was a little short and it's like just little nubby hands. So maybe he was an honorary. Oh, walk behind us, you daffy bastard. I think Voss was one, I think. And wait, so let me do this again. Kevin Hart, Jimmy, me, Bob Kelly, possibly Rich Voss. Dane Cook was a pallbearer. And this guy Will. Who's a comedian, really funny guy, and was like Patrice's like roommate for a while, and they were very, very close. And Chris Rock was there, but Chris Rock wasn't officially a pallbearer, but he was around, and I think he was also there. So we had to go early, get our instructions, and we're sitting there, and there's a giant coffin, kind of on the altar, I think, of the church. Before we went backstage with the coffin and brought it into the church, it was a whole thing. We're sitting there, we're listening to the priest or whatever, what's about to happen, and we're all just distraught. Like, is this really happening? And then you got comedians. They're going to try to be funny no matter where you are. So people are cracking jokes, blah, 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 trying to be the funniest, even under these unusual circumstances. And all of a sudden, Will's like, screw this. And he walks up to the coffin in front of a priest, in front of me, Jim Norton, Bob Kelly, Kevin Hart, Dane Cook, possibly Chris Rock, and opens the coffin. And we saw a dead Patrice O'Neal. There's your story, Scott K. Cheers. Enjoy that one. And what I'll never forget, room full of comedians, all trying to be funny, even under these weird circumstances. You could hear a pin drop. Everyone just shut their mouths, and the silence was unbelievable. As everyone was like, oh, okay, this is real, all right. So a lot of times you don't see the body, so you think, this ain't real, right? We're just doing a dumb little skit here. Are you happy now, Scott K? There's your little story. If you like that, give me a like at least. Will says F this and just opens up the coffin. Who does that? Who does that? Holy mother. And then the only other thing, after the whole service, we... if I get some of this wrong, I apologize. But, we did our thing as pallbearers. And then somehow we were in a side hallway of the church afterwards, I believe. And we're all just crying. Like Kevin Hart's bawling. I'm bawling. Bob Kelly. Everyone's just bawling. Jimmy's bawling. And remember, Chris Rock comes walking up the hallway as we're around this coffin, just bawling as his friends. And Chris Rock's like, take care of yourself. Like, he had to give us a life lesson. He's like, hey, take care of yourselves. Take care of yourselves. He wanted to make that point at that moment. Take care of yourselves. And I'm just sitting there like, holy shit, that's Chris Rock. Nah, I was listening to Chris Rock. Trust me. Then you'll have these idiots out there that'll try to spin it. Patrice never liked you. Shut up. His family knew how much Patrice liked me. They asked me to be a pallbearer. So there's your little cute little story there, brother. Bet you didn't think I was going there with that, huh? It's an incredible honor to be someone's pallbearer and see them off properly. Yeah, I guess it was very nice to be asked by Patrice's family. It was just it was terrible. And then the other thing I remember, like everyone that spoke, they were doing comedy sets for the people, which I found a little weird, but it was good, telling stories and just trying to make people laugh.